My son's birthday is coming up in 30 days, and I'm going to use everything I know about mechanical, electrical, and software engineering to build him something fun. Let's get started. My first step was to sketch out a few ideas. I knew I wanted it to be something that stored memories. I decided to use an e-paper display like the one you'd find in a Kindle. These are great at displaying photos if you use a multicolor one like the one I found. This one does shades of black, white, and red. To fit with the theme of storing memories, I decided to put this on the lid of a wooden keepsake box. My son can use the box to store things, at his age probably a weird selection of toys and other items he finds around the house. I can use the underside of the lid to hide away all the electronics. To make the box portable, I added a battery, and on top of the lid, I added a fingerprint scanner. My son sees me using a fingerprint scanner at his daycare, and he's been trying to scan himself into every door he sees. So I'm gonna give him something to scan into. I use the fingerprint scanner to figure out who is interacting with the box, and it can refresh the display to include a photo with them in it. So if Grandma scans her thumb, it'll show a photo with her in it. So the first thing I did was order all of the parts and assemble a quick prototype using a microcontroller. Then I cut an opening in the lid of the box for the display. I had a few test images showing on the display when I ran into my first problem. There were these weird vertical lines in the image. I spent a few days trying to figure this out before realizing the display was actually just broken. I swapped it out for a new one, and that fixed the issue. After getting the display working, I started adding the SD card reader to store the memories. I soldered it together and ran some sample code, but couldn't get it to work. It just wasn't storing anything. It turns out the SD card was also defective, or just possibly damaged. You could tell because it would heat up to an uncomfortable temperature when you plug it in. I had this SD card lying around, so it's possible my dog chewed on it or something. Putting a new SD card in fixed the problem. Then I added a real-time clock to the prototype so it could tell what time of day it is. Without this, it knows roughly how long it's been powered up, but not the exact time of day. And last but not least, I hooked up the fingerprint scanner. So this was really difficult to get working. I spent several days trying to figure out this error it was giving me. I tried rewiring everything, ordering replacement units, and using sample code from the manufacturer. Nothing worked. It turns out it was just the power adapter I was using. When I switched to using my variable power supply, I found that the fingerprint scanner was drawing more current than the last power supply could give. After playing with the prototype for a while, I decided to make the switch to something more versatile and use a single board computer instead of a microcontroller. It's probably overkill, but this setup leaves a lot of room for adding more advanced features down the road. Now that I had a working prototype, I moved on to the mechanical design. Now, I'm not a mechanical engineer, so this took a lot of research. I created the box in CAD software that I'm using, Fusion 360, and started adding the electronics. I created a little mounting mechanism for the display and a frame for the top so it looks flush. I wanted to hide the electronics on the bottom of the lid, so I created a few enclosures for them. I loaded the 3D printer with some bright yellow filament and fired it up. Then I printed a replacement for the latch on the front with a T for his name. To charge the box, I added a little USB connector to the back of the lid. I made sure the cable won't get squished when you open the lid as well. The box advertises how much battery it has left and is smart enough to shut itself down gracefully if the battery gets too low. All that was left for the mechanical work was to screw the lid back on and make sure everything still works. Next, I needed to write the software to load memories. I started writing an iPhone application to interact with the box. For his birthday, I just wanted the ability to add memories like photos and text. Down the road, I might add the ability to manage the memories that are already on the box. So I designed a quick app that lets you select a photo from your phone, add a description, tag the people in it, and upload the new memory to the box. My wife and I both have a copy of this on our phones so we can add memories. Then the box will cycle through all the available memories and update every hour. In the end, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I put all of the tools I used to build this in the description below, along with the code and the CAD files. If you plan on making something similar, I hope this helps you. Thank you for watching.